In my freshman year of college, I was put into a triple dorm, and then we had to decide one of us to be kicked out of the dorm. Let's start at the beginning. June 2023, I was about to go into college. I went to orientation, still did not have a roommate yet. At orientation, I ended up clicking with this girl, and we decided to just last minute become roommates. And then my school did send out an email that housing was limited and there was a shortage, and that basically some people were gonna have to be put into triple dorms. So just a regular 2-person dorm, but they put a bunk bed in it, and they fit 3 desks into one dorm. I don't know why, I just thought like, oh, that's probably not gonna happen to me. It did, of course. I was put in a triple. I found out like a couple weeks before school started. Instead of having 1 roommate, I was now going to have 2. I wasn't upset about that, but I was a little upset that we were gonna all have to fit our stuff into one dorm that was made for 2 people. There was 1 single bed on one side, and then the other side of the room had a bunk bed. My move-in day was the day after my roommates, so since I was the last one there, I was on the top bunk. For story purposes, we're gonna call the roommate that I already had met once before B, and the one that I didn't know A, because I'm obviously C. So B and I shared a bunk bed, and then B and A shared a closet and dresser. A got her own bed and her own side of the room, and then we were on one side of the room. I'm gonna be 100% honest, guys. I was like not too happy to be on a top bunk, and the ceiling was so close to my head. I did hit my head a few times. Also was just upset because I wasn't, expecting to have to be on a top bunk. I feel like we could have done a rock, paper, scissors to decide the bedding situation, but I wasn't gonna start problems the first day. So since B and I had already met the one time before, we were kind of talkative with each other, and yeah, just like excited to start college. We would go out to eat at the dining halls, or go to like the little club fairs, whatever. Obviously we would invite A every single time, but it just wasn't really clicking. Sometimes A would agree to go, but just like wouldn't show up, which is fine. Not everyone's gonna be friends. Not everyone's gonna, get along or, be besties. A also had a job pretty far off campus and a boyfriend off campus, so she was not at the dorm as much as B and I were. Anyway, October rolls around, and we get an email saying that we have the opportunity to D-triple. We would have to pick someone to move out, and that person would be put into a dorm in the same building, but like a different dorm. Upon seeing that email, me and B were like so excited, finally we were gonna have a dorm just how we thought it was gonna be. It was 100% nothing against A. It was just the fact that we had expected to have a 2-person dorm. That's like the regular college experience. You don't expect to have to be on a top bunk. Unfortunately though, this led to the most awkward conversation I've ever had in my whole life. Not that it would be that less awkward for anyone else, but I'm like the least confrontational person ever. I never want to rock the boat or start anything. Like I never want to bring something up, even if it's an issue or anything. And this wasn't even an issue, so it was really awkward. She had gotten to the dorm. We were, kind of waiting to talk about it with her. We thought that she had already seen the email. She hadn't seen it yet, so when we brought it up, she was a little bit confused, opened her laptop, and then looked at it. All 3 of us sitting at our desks. She read the email, and she was like, oh, wow, kind of reacted to it. We decided to, say how we each personally felt about it. Obviously, I said that I was, wanting to not be in a triple anymore because I did not want to be on the top bunk. I wanted to have my own space. It was B and I that both wanted to do triple, and then A wanted to stay in the triple. However, we kind of came to the consensus that since it was like 2 of us wanting to do triple, that it was gonna happen. Now, unfortunately, was the harder part. We had to then basically volunteer one of us to leave. I'm just gonna tell you guys my true, honest thoughts. Going into that situation, I thought that since naturally B and I had become pretty close, we had classes together, we would hang out and do stuff together, not for a lack of trying, but we just didn't hit it off the same with A. I just kind of naively thought that maybe it would have been like pretty peaceful, and A would have been like, you guys seem closer and you guys signed up to be rooming together, so I'll just head out. But no, of course, things do not work out as you can hope in your head. He did, in fact, want to stay in the dorm, and obviously B and I both wanted to stay in the dorm. We also thought it was fair that we would stay roommates because we signed up to be roommates together, so we thought that that was kind of like fair. So I very kindly and respectfully explained my thoughts and opinions, and she wasn't, really receiving it, I guess. So the 3 of us decided, since we weren't really coming to a decision together, we should invite our RA to come in and help us. He was really nice and chill and helped us come to a decision. Basically, he kindly said that since B and I were in agreement that it was kind of 2 against 1 and that A had to go. This is when it gets even worse because I was like, look, like, this is nothing personal. It's just about the room situation. Like, we can still be friends. We can still hang out. Blah, blah, blah. No. She immediately starts sobbing, like, crying, and I just feel horrible. How do you not feel horrible? And it was just awkward, and we had to basically watch her write the email to, like, resign from the room, and the RA helped her write it, and it was just, like, us kind of, like, sitting at our desk, like listening to her cry while writing it, and, like, trying to comfort her, but also, like, knowing she's probably mad at us. Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. I also don't think it's fair, and I don't wish on anyone that 3 teen girls get put in a room together and then have to vote one out. Like, that's not fair. She did end up doing an Irish goodbye. Like, she was there one day, and then a couple days ago, and she was gone, you know, with the wind. I don't blame her at all. You know, it was awkward, but yeah, that was my triple roommate experience, but luckily things worked out after. B and I just finished our 2nd year together in a dorm, and now we'll be moving into an apartment in the fall. Still feel bad about how it all went down, but I tried to be as kind and respectful as I could have been, and A seems to be doing great. That's, you know, all I can hope for is the best.
Last year was my first and last time ever going to the movie theater alone. I went to watch Wolverine and Deadpool. And look, I'm all for people going to the movie theaters by themselves. Good for you, queen. Period, queen. It's just, what happened? Listen to this. I'm sitting down with my arm on the armrest. Mind you, the theater is packed, okay? You could only reserve solo seats, individuals. There was no, like, I couldn't even buy a seat for my boy if I wanted to bring my friend. I got a couple to the right of me, and I got 2 empty seats to the left of me that are reserved. And they're not here yet, so, you know, this armrest is mine. A few minutes go by, and 2 girls walk past me and sit down right next to me. Those are the girls who reserved the seats. Another few minutes go by, and the girl who's next to me props her arm on the armrest too. We're, like, almost touching arms. Like, my arm hair is tickling her arm. Another few minutes go by. Now she moved her arm to my arm. Now she's pushing my arm. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not moving my arm. I was here first. Who the hell is this? And I'll be so in my own head sometimes. I'm asking myself, maybe she doesn't even, Kevin, it's not a big deal. Maybe she doesn't even know that you're there. Maybe she didn't see you when she walked in. Maybe she doesn't even feel your arm. Maybe she has numbness. She has bad circulation. I have no. Another few minutes go by. I see a flash happen on my left side. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was, but let's continue watching. I feel a tap on my shoulder. The girl next to me shows me her phone. The girl that was further away takes a picture of me and this girl and captions it, goals, with a heart emoji. Now, chat, listen to me. I was born at night, but not last night. Shout out Stefan Marbear. I don't know how old these people are. I'm not here to make buddy. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to watch the damn movie. So I look at her phone. I'm like, silence. Silencio, Bruno. Another few minutes goes by. I get another tap on my shoulder. Same girl. She pulls up the Notes app on her iPhone, shows it to me. She asks me, Instagram, question mark? This is when I ask the age-old question. How old are you? She looks me dead in my eyes, dead in my blue-gray eye. I'm 13, but nobody needs to know. What? What the fuck? So off rip, I hear this, and I'm like, oh, hell no. And I go back to the, like, I'm like leaning furthest away from this person. Taps me again. Goes, okay, listen. You don't have to follow me, but can I have your Instagram account? This was a mistake. I was put under pressure, okay? I didn't know what to do. Quick thinking, I was like, sure, you can follow me. Now, her and her friend have my Instagram, see that I have a following, and start looking down at their account, at my account, looking at me, checking to confirm that's me, going, oh my God. Like, now they're snickering, now they're hype in the movie theater. That's when I'm like, oh shit, I messed up big time rush. Long story short, I felt like I needed to evade the situation. I went down to the ramp of the movie theater. I finished watching the movie. It was like 15 minutes left on the ramp of the theater. They proceeded to follow me and stand behind me, waited till the credits rolled, and then when I turned around to walk past them swiftly, she tried to walk in front of me in an attempt so I can knock her over like some dominoes or like fall on top of her. But I'm too quick on my feet. I saw she was moving in front of me and I stopped and I walked around her. Move! But here's the best part. She comments on my Instagram post and goes, hey, Kevin, it's the girl from the movie theater. Can we talk about what happened in the movie theater? happened? What is wrong with people? Get away from me. I restricted her account, and now to this day, she still DMs me. Oh, hey, my parents aren't home. Come over. What is wrong with these kids, bro? Well, I wasn't doing that. When I was 13, I wasn't allowed to go to the movie theater by myself. My parents loved me. If you're a child, stop trying to rizz up adults. It's creepy. I've been wanting to tell y'all that story for so long. I had to make a few dollars off of that dumbass kid. Shout out Wolverine and Deadpool, solid movie. Simple Sugar.
My ex crashed my wedding to scream that he was still in love with me, and I let him do it. This happened last year, and it is exactly as chaotic as it sounds. I was getting married to my fiance, let's call him Patrick, who was the most incredible guy in the world. Smart, emotionally intelligent, cared about me, basically the exact opposite of my ex-boyfriend, let's call him Matt. Matt was a narcissist, a serial cheater, just honestly the worst. And finally, I got up the strength and the courage to leave him, which was the best decision. But Matt didn't like that. Matt does not like that. Matt was always obsessed with the fact that I would never move on, and even though I left him, I would always come back someday. Yeah, no. The man is the definition of delusional, and I did everything that I could do, block his number, have no contact with him, but yeah, of course he found out that I was getting married. Still, I don't know who told him. So my wedding day comes around, and everything's going well. I'm getting ready, but one of the venue staff comes in, and they look very stressed out. They're like, hey, there's a man at the front gate that's just freaking out and saying that he's your fiance and that he needs to get into the venue, but he's not on the list, so security isn't letting him in. And the venue staff knew who my fiance was, and they knew it wasn't this guy, but I knew exactly who it was. I was like, yeah, no one else but Matt. It's Matt. And at first, I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's gonna ruin my day. He's gonna cause this scene. I had no idea what to do, but then something in me just flipped. And I looked at the venue employee and I said, you know what? Let him in. And to no one's surprise, during our cocktail hour, Matt storms in like he's the lead in some rom-com, screaming, she's making a mistake. She's supposed to be with me. Everybody is silent. My mom drops her champagne glass and they're just looking at this man, making an absolute idiot out of himself. Luckily, my fiance actually knew what Matt looked like. So he goes right up to him and is like, hey Matt, so good to see you. We actually have some extra space if you want to join the wedding. I hope you have a good time. And my fiance goes, but you should probably sit in the chair towards the exit because it's going to be hard for you to see the woman that you let go get married to a man that actually deserves her. Matt tries to argue back, but my maid of honor, who is 5'2" and full of rage, gets right up in his face and is like, you had your chance 2 years ago, buddy. Get out. And Matt left. He was embarrassed. He honestly looked heartbroken. He really, truly thought in his heart that that was going to work. Like, we had not talked in years. I don't communicate with you. No, you're horrible. Why would I ever get back with you? And at our reception, we had a special little chair set up just for him that said Clown of Honor, just in case he did decide to come back. But he didn't. And I haven't heard from him since. Absolutely zero notes. 10 out of 10 wedding.
I have some really exciting news. Don't worry, I don't think I'm gonna cry because I have already shed many tears about this. Savannah's high school is gonna be honoring her at graduation this year. For those of you who don't know, my daughter Savannah, she passed away a little over 2 years ago from a fatal seizure. She was 15 years old. It was about a month before her 16th birthday. My daughter Savannah, she went to Pacifica High School in Oxnard, California. She would have graduated this year, in 2025. I have such like mixed emotions about the whole thing because of course like I'm excited, right? But then I'm also absolutely devastated. And they called me on Friday and asked if I could actually just come in like literally right then to go ahead and talk to the principal. I was at work, but I was like, yes, I'm coming actually. So I called my husband. I was like, hey babe, oh my God, Savannah, school just called. Can you please go meet me over at Pacifica High School? They want to have a meeting with us and go over like the graduation ceremony things they want to do for Savannah. And he was like, yes, I'm literally on my way right now. I'll meet you there. When they called me and asked us to come down, like I had like an immediate anxiety attack. And of course it's like a really emotional thing because, you know, my daughter would have been graduating from high school this year, but she died and so she won't be. So it's really, really nice that they are even including her at all. Like it really means a lot to me. But anyway, so we go to the school, we meet with the principal. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but I can't help it. I'm sorry. We sit down with the principal. Mind you, I'm sitting there like this because I know that I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to burst into tears. Mr. Ramirez is the principal of Pacifica High School. He is the nicest guy. Oh my God. He sat me and my husband down and gave us the plans, and this is what they're doing for her. Are you ready for that? They're giving my family a bunch of VIP tickets, and we're going to be seated in like this VIP section at the graduation ceremony. He is going to have an empty chair that has a bunch of like real flowers on it and like a big framed photo of her. She's going to have a cap and gown. I'm getting an honorary degree for her. He's also going to give a speech about her too during the graduation ceremony. sitting like this while he's telling me, right? Like I have, my glasses on and literally just like this, like tears started falling. And I finally just was like, kind of like I am now, but like obviously more intense because I was hearing it for the first time. I am so thankful that they're doing something for her. Oh, how special, how thoughtful, how like loving that is. I feel like it really speaks to how loved she really was. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind during this. Like I know that I'm going to be such an emotional wreck. I can't even, obviously, if I'm even just talking about it, I'm crying. Imagine how I'm going to be during the actual graduation ceremony. This is just another part of the grief journey, like that first year that she passed, we had all the first, right? The first Christmas without her, the first Thanksgiving without her, the first birthday without her, the worst blah, 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 blah. After the first year, you move into like a different stage of grief because you're no longer doing the first of everything. But since then, I've had the 18th birthday, which was a big milestone, or would have been a big milestone for her. It still was for us. And now we're at the graduation ceremony. I can't think of anything else to anticipate that's coming up that I have to like kind of mentally prepare myself for in my grief journey. I think this is the last major event. Am I wrong? Anyways, I'm really excited. Sad, but I'm really excited about it. And I just want to share that with you.
Story time on my manager trying to ruin my life. Hi, I am Nadia, a senior in high school that used to work at Jersey Mike's in Houston, Texas on 1960. And yes, I am exposing everything because she got me messed up. I started working at Jersey Mike's in August in 2024, the beginning of my senior year. Ever since I started working there, there's been so many red flags about this lady. My first incident with her was when my sister went up to my job to go pick up my check. She gonna have the nerve to tell my sister that my sister look way better than me and I'm ugly and my sister better take that as a compliment. And she was like, girl, you better take that as a compliment and you better not tell your sister. So, of course, my sister came back and tell me because that's my sister. Why wouldn't she tell me what she said about me? Like, that is so unprofessional. So after what she said to my sister, I never said anything to my manager about what she said because I really didn't care that much because I knew that wasn't true. Then she started gossiping to the whole store about what she told my sister about me, like somebody cared. Remind y'all, she always going around the store telling everybody business and gossiping about everybody to other employees. Like, you're supposed to be the manager. What are you doing? Remind y'all, this lady is in her 50s. So it got out of hand, so I decided to tell the district manager about what she did and about her foul mouth because it's just so, like, inappropriate. Like, why would you say that? So a couple weeks went by and I finally had seen my manager and she gonna have the nerve to tell me, I heard you snitched on me, da 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 da. So I'm like, yeah, I did snitch on you. She gonna say, oh, you said that I be talking to y'all any kind of way. And I'm like, yeah, you do talk to us any kind of way. You talk to us like we're in boot camp. We're really not. Then she gonna proceed to say, okay, I got your money in my hands. Like, what? So then it's time for a new schedule. She only put me on the schedule for one day. But me personally, I didn't care because, like, of course, I'm still in high school. I still got school. Like, of course, I really didn't care. Like, free time for me, you feel me? So around January, I'm telling my coworkers, like, yeah, prom finna come up in May, graduation finna come up in May, I'm finna go to the military, I'm finna go to the Navy. And of course, she hears this. She knows that I'm, like, all of this stuff is going on in May. So she been knowing for a long time that I was supposed to be leaving sometime in May. And she couldn't say she didn't because she did because I've been talking about this ever since January. So May 23rd, 2025, I decided to quit my job. I decided to quit my job because some unexpected news had came up. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm already supposed to be leaving. Why not just, tell her now? Then on top of that, I really couldn't put my 2 weeks in because, like, I'm really supposed to be leaving next week. So I decided to send her that friendly message, even though the message that I sent, I really didn't mean because, like, she really tried to make everybody at that job miserable just like her. And literally all the employees can vouch and say they do not like her. She's rude. She don't know how to talk to people. She's just so out of control. So when I sent her that message, I seen the message that she sent me, and I immediately told my mom and my ex-coworker, well, my coworker, they used to work there, they got into it with her too, about the situation, about what she texted me. So I had to tell my ex-coworker, she's my friend, like she's my older sister. I had to tell her because I knew that she had like the owner and the district manager information, so she could give it to me so I can inform them about what my manager was texting me about ruining my life. So I decided to text her back and was like, what are you planning on doing with my information? Because, like, literally, you trying to use my information, like, as far as my social security number, like, what are you trying to do? Because if you can steal money out the drawer and the tip jar, I would expect you to use my social security number or whatever you're trying to do with my information that you so-called have. So then I had texted her again and I was like, you don't even know my recruiter. So she gonna have the nerve to put the thumbs up and then gonna have the nerve to go on Facebook, search my Facebook up, screenshots a picture of me and my recruiter and says, I don't know her name, but I know enough. The lady is so dumb because the name is literally on my recruiter suit. Like, what are you saying? Like, as a manager, you don't even do nothing like that. And even, like, you're even weirder to even say that to a 17-year-old. And even weirder for even looking up my Facebook to try to prove a point. Like, you got some type of information on me or know my recruiter to try to ruin my life. I should have known that lady was miserable when I found out her son was a big rapper. I don't know if y'all know who Sauce Walker is, but her son be with Sauce Walker, and I should have known that she was miserable when she still works at Jersey Mike's and your son over here got money. A rapper, a big rapper at that. So I really wouldn't be surprised if she do, try to use my social security number or something like that, because she can steal money out the tip jar, the register, and try to blame it on other employees, trying to make it seem like they be stealing the money, but the whole time she be stealing the money. So y'all, that was a little story time on how my manager, tried to ruin my life. Like, she can actually ruin my life, which she can't. But yeah, I had to just, let this be known about how evil people are and how people, really try to put other people down because, like, girl, you're 50-something years old trying to ruin a 17-year-old life. Like, that's how I know you ain't got nothing going on for yourself, because you're 50-something years old still working at Jersey Mike's. Don't even make sense. Then what got me is, like, she literally went on my Facebook just to try to prove a point. Like, you really look my Facebook up? Like, you're so weird. Like, that is weird and creepy to me. Like, that is outrageous. Like, you're too grown to be even doing something like that, to even try to prove a point to a 17-year-old. Like, that is crazy. I will be inserting all the messages and stuff like that at the end of this video, or I'll probably make another post of the messages and stuff in another video. I don't know. I will be showing y'all the messages between her and the owner and the district manager, because they act like, all of them act like they don't care. And I will be inserting the other messages when I had my first time snitching on her. Then, y'all, my sister had gotten into a car accident and I had told her, like, she didn't even care. Like, she literally wrote me up because I was supposed to come in, but I told her that I was going to be late, and she still wrote me up, but she found somebody else to take my shift. Like, you can't write me up for something like that. And I literally told you that I was just going to be, 30 minutes late. But yes, I did not expect, that little video to blow up or anything. But, I had to, make this worldwide awareness. Like, this is weird. You're a manager, and, like, this is just so unprofessional for you to even want to do something like that, to even want to ruin somebody's life, to, like, just even thinking about doing something like that to somebody. Like, how miserable could you be?
So back when I was homeless, I would babysit my friends' kids in exchange for somewhere to stay. So I started making ads on Craigslist offering babysitting services. So I get an email from a woman named Eileen, and she says that she has an adult son who is disabled and she needs someone to come over and sit with him while she works. She said that he was in his 30s, he was permanently disabled, he couldn't walk, talk, use the bathroom, or eat on his own. So I asked her what happened to her son, and she said when he was a teenager, he fell off a horse head first and got brain damage and was paralyzed from the neck down. She said he can't talk or communicate, but sometimes he'll moan. He won't really have to do anything but sit sit there and just make sure the house don't burn down, because by the time I go to work in the evening, he's already going to bed. So she calls me and asks, when can you start? I said, tomorrow. She said, we'll be here at 4:30, but if I have to go into work early, I'll just leave a note on the door for you showing you what I want done. The next day, I get there around 4:35, and I find a note on the door that said, hey, I had to go into work early, but Jason's inside and your money's on the table. Make yourself at home. So I crack the door open, and I can see a man sitting in a wheelchair in front of a TV with his head tilted, and when I walk in, I say, Jason, and he doesn't respond. So when I get to the kitchen table, there's an envelope with my name on it, and when I open it up, there's $200 in it. So I thought, okay, she's serious about the job. This is for real. I found a long note on the refrigerator of things I needed to do. 8 o'clock supper, 8:30 diaper change, 9 o'clock bath. So I spent the night doing everything on her list, and then I put him to bed, and then I went to sleep on the couch, and I was just glad to finally have a roof over my head. Now, Eileen had these alarms set to let you know when to go feed or change Jason, so one of these alarms went off around 2 a.m. and it woke me up. I check on Jason, and then I go to the bathroom, and when I look in the mirror, my hair is balled up and has a big matted spot where something is like dried up in it. I'm thinking, did I drool in my own hair? What the hell is that? And I have to rinse my hair out in the sink and pick the shit out. So by 12:30 the next day, Eileen has still not come home from work, and now I'm making Jason lunch. So now it's time to wash him, and while I was giving him a bath, I could tell he was physically very excited, and when I was drying him off, his hand grazed across my ass. But I'm thinking it was an accident, because when you work that close with patients, you're bound to bump into each other one way or another. Trigger warning, this part is disgusting. So after his bath, I put him in the bed, and then I went and laid on the couch and took a nap, and when I woke up, that same shit was in my hair again. I had my hair pulled back tightly, but once again, it was pulled out like this and looked like someone had jizzed in it. So I'm leaned over the sink, rinsing my hair out, and I hear stomping in the hallway, but when I look out, no one's there, and Jason's in bed asleep. So now it's after dark, Eileen still hasn't come home, and now I'm Skyping with my boyfriend when I hear Jason moaning in the bedroom, so I go to check on him, but nothing's wrong. I get back on Skype with my boyfriend, and within minutes, my boyfriend says, who's that walking behind you? Who's that man? I said, huh? Ain't no man here. Well, except for the patient, Jason, but he's paralyzed. He can't walk. So we carry on the conversation, and then my man says, who you got over there? I said, nobody's here but me and Jason. He said, you damn liar. I just saw him walk by again. He said, what's the address? I'm coming over there. I don't believe you. I said, why are you so jealous? This is why we can't build trust. But here's the address. Come on over if it'll make you feel better. So he's on the way, and I'm pissed off because he don't trust me. So I get up, put the computer down, and I go into Jason's room to check on him. Here's where shit gets weird. When I open Jason's bedroom door, I see his eyes are wide open, but when I get close to him, he closes his eyes like he's pretending to sleep. Well, he's flushed, face red, breathing heavy, and pouring sweat like he's been jogging around the house. And I'm like, why is he sweating like that if he can't move? So I roll him over, and I'm fluffing the pillows and blankets behind his body, and when I get to his feet, my finger accidentally grazes the bottom of his foot, and it twitched. Eileen told me that he was paralyzed from the waist down and could not move a muscle, so now I'm wondering, how the f is his feet twitching? So I lock myself in the bathroom, and then I see those lights under the door again, and when I look under the door, he's walking. And that's when it finally hits me. I've been staying with a predator who's faking a disability and gets off on strangers wiping his butt. A grown man who is pretending to be disabled, having total strangers wash him, change him, dress him, and feed him. I realize Eileen doesn't even exist. He was the one who was emailing me to begin with to lure me here, and he's been jizzing in my hair. So while I'm in the bathroom, I hear Jason moaning like he needs me, so I yell, be there in a minute, but I'm actually climbing out the bathroom window because I'm leaving. My man shows up with a weapon, and we go in the house, and he takes one look at Jason and says, that's him, that's the man I saw behind you. So my man starts yelling at Jason, get up, boy, get up. Come on, you ain't fooling nobody. You want to play games with my old lady? I'm gonna f you up. Well, then my man fires a shot beside Jason on the bed, and that made Jason flinch, and then Jason jumps up and takes off running out of the house. My boyfriend follows behind him and fires another shot, and then I grab my boyfriend and snatch him back, and then we get in the car and leave. So as we're leaving, we stop by the mailbox to try to see who lives there, and when we open it up, it's jam-packed full of mail. It hadn't been checked in months, probably years. So we go back the next day, and a neighbor tells us the homeowner was put into hospice months ago, and that's why the power's still on. And squatters had been breaking into the house and staying there. And one thing we couldn't figure out was who called me that first day pretending to be Eileen, because the person I talked to sounded just like a woman, but it could have been this guy. I don't know. So I go to try to file a police report, and they won't even let me talk to a detective. They said it sounded like a scam, and they didn't handle those types of cases. Then my boyfriend gets mad and cusses me out for being homeless, saying I need to get my shit together. I said, I'm doing everything I can do. I don't have people paying my bills like you do. I said, you 30-something years old, still living with your grandparents, mooching off of them, got them paying all your bills, and you trying to tell me I need to get on my feet? Cute. When I was homeless, I went through hell. I was put in some very scary situations just to have food and a roof over my head. At one point, I was sleeping in my friend's pump house, taking baths at the lake, selling aluminum cans for money. I didn't want to, but I had to. When you don't have an income, a home, or support, you do what you got to do to survive, and that's what I was doing.
Alright, so story time. I've never told you guys this one before. Story time on how I almost got my ass whooped by my ex's, baby's mama's entire family, okay? I feel like I tell a lot of stories on here about me almost getting beat up. Like, I never tell y'all the stories when I win the fights because I feel like that's boring. Who want to hear that? Also, like, I tell a lot of stories about, like, when it's, like, a gray area. But this story, I was actually in the wrong, okay? This is, like, some of the worst shit I've ever done. Like, feel free to judge me. I'm not a perfect person. And I feel like people come on here and they tell y'all all these, like, stories times to make y'all feel bad about them. Make y'all feel like they're always the victim. I am not a victim all the time, baby. Sometimes I am the predator. Sometimes I am the perpetrator. So while I was dating one of my exes, he ended up getting this girl pregnant. Okay, let's just start off with a bang. All right. Let's just start off with a bang. He ended up, like, we went through a little, like, rough patch, and he ended up meeting this girl, getting her pregnant. The way that I found out that he got her pregnant is because he came to my house and was staying the night and left his phone in my room. And I went through, bitch, because he never changed the password. And I saw her sending pictures of, like the baby's gender. I guess she had, like, a gender appointment. And, like, he missed the appointment because he was at my house, first of all. But second of all, look, he was not a good man. And she was sending him, like, pictures of, like, the sonogram and, like, telling him that it was going to be a girl and everything. And I was, imagine me, like, having a good day. We picked out a Christmas tree. We went shopping at Hobby Lobby. I get home and something's in my ear telling me, check that phone. Check that phone. I checked that phone and it's sonograms in the phone. Bitch, I almost passed out. I almost passed out in that hole. Okay. So I confront him about it, and this man starts crying. And I'm like, no, these tears aren't going to work on me, baby. I want to fight. Like, I don't know what you're crying for. I'm going to give you something to cry about, for real. So I ended up getting the girl's phone number off his phone, and when he left my house that night, I texted her and was like, what's going on? And she was basically like, oh yeah, he told me he has a crazy ex. He told me, like, you're not going to ruin our family. Like, I know all about you, how crazy you are, how you do weird, crazy things. And, like, he told me, basically, he told her all about me, and she said, I'm not going to ruin their family. They're going to be together. I wish I could have a baby. She was going off. First of all, I don't wish I could have a baby by a bum. I never wished I got pregnant by a bum. You're delusional. So we get to arguing about it. And then he calls me. He's like, yeah, this is why I can't deal with you right now. Why would you do that? You trying to mess up my happy home? Mind you, y'all, we are in a relationship. I'm trying to mess up his happy home. What? Niggas are so fucking... This is why I do niggas how I do niggas. Because, like, niggas are such evil people, bro. They are so evil. My God, I gotta match it. So we get to arguing, me and her friend get to arguing, we arguing, and I'm just basically like, I'm arguing with her because, like, I thought we was gonna have a discussion, like, two adults, and she talking about I'm trying to mess up her happy home and shit, like, so basically I went and stalked her on social media, and she had posted on Twitter the details of her baby shower, where it was gonna be at and what time it was gonna be at. Now, why would you do that, boo-boo? You got ops out here. Why would you do that, boo-boo? So this is back when I used to work at this country club. I had worked at 2 different country clubs, but they were like sister properties. So this was back when I used to work at a country club, right? And so the location that she had booked for the baby shower was a private room at the country club that I worked at the time. And so I'm like, I don't know if this girl knew about me or if this was done on purpose, but, like, I don't know. Spartanburg is like a small town, so it's like, I guess, like, I don't know, maybe it was an accident, I don't know. But basically, I went to work, right? And I used to be a waitress. I did golf cart, but I also helped with events, okay? So I basically told my managers one day, I was like, oh yes, someone called in and they canceled their event for such and such day. When I'm very fully aware that I was wrong. Like, I've been holding on to this story because I'm like, I don't want y'all to see the evil side of, mind you, this is a long time ago. Her baby shower was not on the event board anymore. And then we had booked over the baby shower because I told them that she canceled it, and they had booked some sort of, like, golf picnic event for the room that she had booked. So the time comes for the baby shower. I'm booked to work that day. So when the time comes to work the day that the event was supposed to be on, I was scheduled to work that day. We were all scheduled to work that day because it was a short staff, and, like, we were all pretty much event staff when it was a big event. So I tried to trade my shifts. I was like, please, I immediate regret. But after I already said they called and canceled, there was nothing I could really do about it. And then they booked over it. So I tried to switch shifts with this other girl, and she would not switch my shift. When I tell y'all, I was like, I will literally give you $100, name your price. I do not want to work on this day. She would not switch her shift with me for fucking nothing. So I'm scared. I'm like, damn, do I need to call out? Like, what do I need to fucking do? Because I'm scared to come in because I know she's going to get there and nothing is going to be done. So usually for events, you come a little earlier to set up for the event. So I think it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours earlier or something. They do like place settings and everything, but if you have like custom decorations, they give you time to come in before to book the events. Now, the time that she was supposed to come in before was before my shift had started. So the time that they were supposed to come in to decorate for the event was like an hour before my shift started. So I pull up on the time that my shift is supposed to start. I'm sitting in the parking lot and I'm scared. Like, I'm shaking scared. Like, I'm just going to call and tell them I'm sick. But like, again, it's a short staff and I would basically be like leaving all my coworkers to fend for themselves. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then like, I had already called out. So I was like, shit, I'm kind of stuck right now. So I'm sitting in the fucking parking lot and I am super fucking scared. I'm calling my friend. I'm talking to her and I'm like, I'm scared to go in here. So while I'm sitting outside, it's like 10 hours past my shift start time. My manager calls me and she's like, hey, the event that you told me that someone called in and canceled the other day, they're here to set up for the event. And they said that no one ever called in and canceled. Who did you speak with? And like, I don't have an answer for this because the phone call was fake. So I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. They didn't leave their name. I'm not really sure. And she's like, where are you? And I was like, yeah, I'm in the parking lot. I'm about to come in. So I'm walking into the building up the steps and my manager is sitting on the front steps of the property. And it's like the girl, her entire family, they have balloons. They have like the whole shebang. She's all dressed up. My boyfriend at the time, well, anyways, he was not there. It was just her. When I walked up, she recognized me. And I'm like, I don't know how she know what I look like or what, because the only conversation we ever had was the conversation we were going back and forth about me ruining her happy family. So she recognized me and she's like, it's confusion. I first see confusion on her face. And then my manager is like, hey, so these are the people who booked the event. Like, they're trying to figure out who called in to cancel the reservation. And immediately she was like, oh, I'm not going to say his name. You're Jeffrey's girlfriend. And I was like, I just stood there. I'm like, I've never been so much in shock in my life. And I'm like, and I just stood there and then it's just silence. Like, it's just minutes of fucking silence and we're all looking around and then I'm like, okay, yeah. Because like, I'm not gonna lie. And then it turned into just complete fucking chaos. Basically, we're outside on the steps of the country club and we are like, all chaos has broken loose because the girlfriend, she's not even his girlfriend, his baby mama noticed who I was. And so we're sitting outside and she's basically telling my manager, like, I feel like she did this on purpose because we just got into an argument about such and such and such. And my manager's listening to them and I'm just standing there because like, I don't really have a rebuttal. Because everything she's saying is true, Your Honor. I actually did do that. Like, so as we're sitting outside and they're going back and forth with my manager, her sister puts like the decorations down and then she's like, okay, so if we don't have our baby shower today, somebody's getting their ass whipped. Jesus, please. Not at my job. My manager's like, okay, I'm just going to call security because this is escalating. She's sweet. What a sweet lady. She was trying her best to escalate it. She's like an older white woman and she was trying her best to de-escalate the situation. She's like, I'm going to call security because it's starting to get violent. And so her sister's like, no. And they start getting super like amped up and packed up and hell was breaking loose. So I try to sneak around my manager to walk into the building and the sister comes up behind and walks into the building. She's like, I don't know where you think you're going because we need to settle this because if nobody's having a baby shower today, somebody's getting their ass whooped and it's going to be you. So my manager comes in and she like gets between us and she's like, I'm gonna call security, and she's yelling at one of the wait staff is because people have started to come out of the kitchen to watch the kerfuffle. I don't know what that word is. Kerfuffle, the chaos. So she's like, call security. And I'm trying to like, I can't really go back into it because I'm at work, so I can't do too much. And also, I'm supposed to be innocent. You know what I'm saying? I can't really reveal my grand plan, my master scheme. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, someone called in and they canceled it. I didn't even know it was your baby shower. How was I supposed to? I was like, how was I supposed to know this is your baby shower? Bitch, you know it is the motherfucking baby shower. I don't know. Anyways. So mind you, this is a country club. It's a very big country club. And it's like the security is not in the damn kitchen area. They're not in the main building. So they have to get on a golf cart and come from the opposite side from this where the security stay at, where the gate is at. And so I'm like, oh my God, like I just need to hold on for a little while. And there's like another waitress. His name is John, big John, because he's big as hell. He comes out and he's trying to like corral them to the door. He's like, you can't come in. And they're trying to go around John to get to me at this point. And so there's another girl who does events. My manager, she works with me in the kitchen, but she helps out with events. But the main lady that does events comes out and she's like, what's going on? So they start explaining it to her and she's like, okay, yeah, like we could accommodate them. We have another room. Like, let's not worry. We could accommodate them. So They actually end up staying. So she gets them another room for them to have their baby shower in. So my manager and then pulls me to the office and they're like, what just went on? I was like, yeah, I know her, but this has nothing to do with me. And like, y'all, I have a very sweet, innocent voice. Like, and even back then, I was a lot lighter and I was a lot sweet and innocent and quiet. They were like, no, it's okay. Like, it's probably just a miscommunication, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to lose my job today. So the night goes on. They have their baby shower. They leave. Okay. So I get ready to leave after I clock out of my shift late night and I go check my phone because you're not allowed to have your phone on the floor when you're working. And I have like messages of her, from my baby daddy, and from her friend that I was arguing with, being like, bitch, I know what you tried to do. Like, we're gonna beat your ass when we see you. So I'm not too worried about it at this point because I'm like, when is that bitch ever gonna see me? You're not gonna see me, bitch. What didn't dawn on me at the time is like, my ex know where I live at. Oh, okay. You got me, bitch. You got me now. So I'm thinking everything's cool at the time, right? So my shift ends, I leave, I go home, I pull up to my house. There's a car parked outside of my house. I'm like, it was like a townhouse neighborhood. So I'm like, maybe it's my next door neighbor. When I pull past the car, I can see her and her two sisters in the car. And I'm like, do I turn around? Like, I need to get out of here now. Like, I don't know. So I park my car and I'm like, I'm like, getting myself prepared to fight because clearly we're just about to fight. So I get out the car, they walk up on the side of me, they don't change clothes and everything. And they're basically like, so like, you try to pull that shit, like now just drop your shit, like let's get into it. They want to fight. And so I'm standing out there and I'm like, all right, like we can fight. That at this point, it's like I already did what I wanted to do. And honestly, I was very pissed off and angry about the whole situation with the baby situation. Not that it was her fault, but I was just really angry and I was just like, I can take my anger out on anybody right now. Like, bitch, I'm real stressed out about it right now. So we get to going at it. Me and her one sister, I'm thinking this is a one-on-one fight. Me and her sister, we're fighting in my front yard. My neighbors across, there was this really nice lady that had like 17 kids or whatever. She was across from me. She came out to watch the fight and she comes over because we're kind of cool. And so she's watching the fight, making sure that nothing like goes crazy and we're fighting. So it's more so like of a tie. Like that bitch was really trying to swing me by my ponytail and I kept knocking her off her feet. Cause like, come on, like, you need both hands to fight, ho. So she kept trying to swing me by my ponytail and I kept knocking her off her feet. So I knock her off her feet one time and I feel a big ass bitch on top of me. And I'm like, hold on, how many of you are there? Like, what's going on? I'm feeling like, bitch, are y'all trying to jump me? They're trying to jump me. So as I'm on top of the girl, because I've knocked her down and I'm like hitting her other sister, I'm assuming it's her sister, I don't know, maybe her friend, comes and is trying to pull me by my hair off of her. So now it's a 2-on-1 situation. So my neighbor is trying to split the fight up, but we keep going at it. And all I hear in the background is the pregnant girl talking about, beat her ass. And I'm like, this is what I live for, but also like, oh my God, like this is not my, honestly, this is not my first time getting jumped. So it's like, it's not like a big surprise. I run my mouth too much and I do too many crazy things. So this is not a big shocker for me. It's also like my third time getting my ass jumped. Like I've been jumped before, Bookie. This is not breaking news for me, ho. So the police end up showing up and they separate us and they're asking everybody what's going on. And I basically said like they came to my house to fight me. We engaged into a physical altercation and then they tried to jump me. And then they go and get their side of the story and they're like, basically, this is my house, so do I want to press charges? And I was like, actually, yes, I do. I can be really evil sometimes. Like I literally started this whole altercation anyways. So yeah. I say I almost got my ass whooped because, like, I was really winning until her other friend, sister friend jumped in. Like, that's when I started losing. But, whatever. Like, I'm not a gorilla. I can't really fight two bitches. I mean, I could, but, like, obviously I'm not too good at multitasking. So, yeah. And that is my little story time